Yo, what's going on, guys? Me Solo here. Today we're talking about Albion Online, the game I've been playing for the last 3 months. As you guys know, I've been streaming this game over at twitch.tv/Esolarsan, and we've been having a really good time, man. We've gotten about 100 plus hours in the game now, and it's a very unique game, man. I have not gotten towards end game yet, you guys, so I still have a lot of stuff I got to work on. Hopefully we get our huge content update where they're going to be working on open world and things like that. I kind of got into Albion randomly. I was playing Final Fantasy at the time, Final Fantasy 14, which is now doing really great. I played Final Fantasy for a while, but it wasn't a full loot PvP game, and the PvP just wasn't there for me, so I really wanted to try another MMO. So I stumbled upon Albion randomly. The funny thing is I used to play back in 2017 for I played for like 2 weeks. I think I played the game, and then unfortunately I had my PC kind of went shot, and I didn't have a PC for a really long time, so I wasn't able to play the game. And then years later I started streaming again, and here we are. We're playing Albion one more time. All right, guys, once you get in the game, you log in, you are spawned onto the island, the journey island, whatever the hell it's called. I forget what it's called, but you do a couple quests here and there, just like any other MMO. They pretty much take you through a tutorial of the game. The tutorial is relatively quick. You're not there for like 45 minutes to an hour, so don't worry about that. It's really quick. They get you right into the game. Once you do get on to the main the world continents or whatever they spawn you in, whatever Limhurst, Thetford, any of those, once you get in there, guys, okay, do me a favor, pick one craft and one gatherer. I wish I would have known this before I would have started playing the game, instead of wasting all my learning points on just random ass shit I did not know. Do not use your learning points for any combat stuff. The only thing you want to use learning points are for crafter and gatherers, just because of the fact they take way longer to level up, and it's a lot harder to get fame for them. So that's the first thing I would definitely focus on when I get into the game. There's a lot there, man. You got the destiny board, you got all these different skills on there, so you're kind of thrown into the wolves at first, especially me when I first logged into the game. I mean, when I first got out of the main island, whatever the hell it's called, and they took me to the world continent, I was a little confused because I didn't know what to do. There was so much on the destiny board, and it's just a lot to take in. So I would just, like I said, pick one craft, pick one gatherer, go from there, and then you can just roam the open world, man. There's a lot of different zones. You know, if you're wearing tier 4 armor, you're going to be doing tier 4 zones or tier 5 zones. If you're wearing tier 6 armor, you're going to be doing tier 7 or tier 6 zones. That's just how it is. It's very simple, not too much. You can just roam the world, but just remember, you do have red and black zones, so any of those zones are PK-able, meaning you will lose your loot if you die. Okay, if you're in yellow zone, you can still get PK'd, but you're not gonna, I think you're just gonna get knocked down. You don't lose any armor. In blue zones, you don't even have to worry about that. So, but if you're in red and black zones, be careful, because you can lose your gear, and once you lose your gear, it's a very bad feeling. I've had it happen to me multiple times, and I still don't have the money enough to where if I die, I don't have to worry about it. So I'm still struggling in that department, but I'm learning as I go. All right, one thing that I have noticed about Albion is the community is pretty good. I've been seeing some things going on Reddit here and there, or even on YouTube videos saying that Albion is toxic. You guys, it's a full loot PvP game. There's going to be toxicity in every MMO you play. It's just not a certain game that's just like, there's not one certain game that doesn't have toxicity in it. Personally, me, I haven't met that toxicity. Never in my streams have I've gotten stream sniped or any of the stuff that I'm aware of, and it's just never really happened, man. People really aren't dicks out there in the world of Albion. So I don't know where people are hearing that from, but for the most part, the community is pretty good, man. If you got a question, you can always ask somebody in the main town. Everybody's pretty helpful, bro. There's literally new people who will help you do expeditions. You can do arenas, beginners. They'll teach you a thing or two if you just message them. Don't be afraid to ask, man. Everybody is literally very helpful in the community, and they're very welcoming as well. So, you know, go ahead and ask, bro. Don't be afraid, guys. As far as guilds go, you definitely want to find a nice guild that suits you. I personally just joined a guild myself, and it's been a lot of fun. I try and do content with them, but a lot of times in my streams I'm doing solo content right now, because I'm just trying to fame farm a lot of my weapons, and they're out usually doing like either roaming, hellgates, or all this other stuff that kind of you need some money to run through sets. And I just don't have that right now, so I haven't been doing as much content as I should with them. But a guild is very helpful, guys. You can get hideouts. They also will do a lot of stuff with you, meaning like group dungeons. If you want to do gathering together, you can do a lot of roaming in the open world, make some more money. A lot of fun things you can do, man. So go ahead and join a guild. Just make sure you're not that guy who just accepts guild invites in the beginning of the game, because the problem is people will invite you, and then when they invite you, they have a seriously high tax rate, and that tax rate is pretty much being taken off of everything you're picking up. So if you kill a mob and they give you like 1,000 silver, you're gonna get taxed on that, and if the tax rate is high, you're not gonna be making shit in the game from anything. So pretty much just be careful for that. Join a guild that suits you, talk to them a little bit, and find out what you like, man. What kind of content you're trying to do. You're trying to find a PvP guild, trying to find a PvE guild. There's a lot of different guilds out there. Take your time. In the world of Albion, there's no need to rush. Y'all boys are weak as shit, man. Let's go, baby. Kill these guys real quick. I'm gonna take these dudes loot. Let me take your loot real quick, bro. When I first got this game, it was the shit. I think I don't remember how far I got, man. It was literally years ago. I think when I was first started streaming, actually, with Path of Exile. And we haven't played an MMO really since. PvE content, once again, guys, I have not gotten that far in the game. About 3 months in, I've just gotten a max spec on a couple things, probably like 6 or 7 things, so I'm still working on it, but there's a lot of stuff to do. As far as PvE content, you got world bosses, you got solo dungeons, static dungeons, group dungeons, you got the roads, which is the newest content introduced. The roads are pretty insane. You know, you can find crazy high, I think they're called like these really is it adept tier mobs or some shit like that. They're pretty much mobs that drop insane amount of gathering material, so like you can kill like a big ass fiber mob or colossals or something like that, so you can get some pretty high rewards in the roads. A lot of everything pretty much for the most part, unless it's like dungeons, it's PvE and PvP. So when you do world bosses, you have a chance of getting PvP'd. When you're doing like 20 plus dungeons for like group dungeons, you can get PvP'd. It's still PvE content, but they kind of find a way to mix PvE and PvP together in pretty much everything that you do. But you do have solo dungeons if you don't want to, you know, worry about PKers. The only thing is, if you're doing solo dungeons, you can still do them in black and red zones, but you got to wait 90 seconds at least before even starting the dungeons, so that way the outside dungeon closes and nobody can come in and gank you. So what I like to do is, what somebody showed me in my stream, is you go in the dungeon, wait, go to the logout on the top right, I believe. Once you go log out, they'll have a timer pop up. Wait till it hits 210 seconds. Once it hits 210 seconds, you can go ahead and start the dungeon. That's what I like to use. That way nobody ganks me. And still to this day, I forget to use that rule sometimes, and I have gotten ganked multiple times from it, just from not waiting that timer. So it's very important to do it, especially if you have a guild that has a hideout in the roads. You want to use that timer, because if you're in the roads constantly, depending on how many portals are in that zone that you're in, there's a lot of gankers, man. There's a shitload of them, bro, and they are not afraid to just come in. Even if you got like 5 people with you, they'll come in with like 10 people. That's just how it is, how the game is. So definitely something you want to watch out for. World bosses I haven't done yet. I know world bosses have a drop rate of like, or a really high drop rate of certain things and a really low. So I know sometimes you can make some really crazy rewards from them. I haven't done them yet, but I want to definitely do them with the guild sooner or later. When I get my specs up to where I want them to be, hopefully I can start attacking that content and really just start doing some world bosses, and hopefully getting some crazy insane drops, man. I hear there's drops that literally cost like over millions of silver. So, you know, hopefully we get to do that. But like I said, right now I'm just taking my time in the game and just trying to fame farm and get everything up that I need to, you know. All right, guys, remember, this is a PvE or PvP mainly focused game. They do have raids in the roads now, and they also have hardcore expeditions, which are more like raid PvE content. I have not gotten to that yet, so I don't want to talk too much about it and give you guys false information. But from what I hear, they're not that easy, and also you have to have really good gear to go in there. So that's something you can strive for later on when you start actually making money in the game. And you can probably go in there with a group of people. I'm sure there's a certain method or, you know, tactics you have to use in there. So just, you know, you're probably gonna have to find your own group for that, and try not to do it with randoms. I would definitely try and find a group that knows what they're doing, and then maybe you can do it with your buddies and teach them how to do it, you know, just so that way it's a little easier for all of you. But PvP is a lot of stuff, man. You got corrupted dungeons, black zones, red zones. You've got faction warfare, which is also something they recently just introduced, which is pretty cool. And then you also, I don't think I'm missing anything, corrupted, black zones, red zones, roads ganking. And then you also have Arena and Crystal League, which are more like really hard competitive PvP. You also got Hellgates as well. Sorry. Hellgates, you have, I think, 10v10s, 5v5s, and 2v2s, I think, are the modes right now, well, which are pretty cool. So there's a lot of PvP things to do. Just make sure you guys do not be rocking this crazy expensive gear when you're doing PvP, because if you lose the gear and you don't have money to buy another set, you're really going to struggle for a long time. I learned that the hard way. I went into, I think, the roads for the first time when I just wanted to check it out. I went in there with like 7.2 gear, like, no, not 7, sorry, 6.2 gear, and that's kind of all the money I had at the moment. I got ganked within, I'm not even kidding, like 5 minutes with a full set. And I got ganked within like 5 minutes, lost all my money, and I had to do fame farming and pretty much gathering for like a good week just to get my money back. So do not go out there with crazy expensive gear. I would just rock, if you're gonna rock gear, rock 4.3 gear. It's a lot cheaper, and it's also this same as the rocking tier 7 gear. So don't go out there with crazy expensive gear if you're gonna be doing a lot of PvP stuff. Corrupted dungeons, you can practice in there in hunter mode, I believe. So if you don't want to risk anything, you could just use that to practice different PvP builds, which is what I do. And then when you're ready to go into the big stuff like Stalker, and I forgot the last one that's named, which is pretty much you can risk all your shit that you go in there with, but it's very rewarding if you do win, and you could win a lot of fucking money in there. I've seen a lot of people walk out with like over $10 million or 10 million silver just from competing in corrupted dungeons. So if you into that kind of content, it's 1v1s, you could definitely do that. But there's a lot of PvP stuff, and with the new patch coming out, like I said, guys, the new content update coming in probably hopefully 6 to 8 weeks roughly, I'm assuming, it's going to be a lot of PvP fighting going on, especially smaller skills, what they're trying to give us. So, you know, we'll see. I know now sometimes when you're playing Albion, you could try and PvP people, and it's like 3 versus 15 out of nowhere. It starts off with 3v3, and then it goes to like 3v15 in a matter of seconds. So hopefully they do something to work on that. But yeah, man, the game so far has definitely been a journey that I have not fully discovered or fully took advantage of, I guess you could say. I'm still like, I'm on a good journey, but it's not, I haven't finished it, I guess you could say. I still got a lot of shit I got to do. So anyways, you guys, hope you enjoy this video, man. And we'll be playing some more Albion for the next couple months or years, or who knows how long, man. As long as this game keeps me happy, I'll be playing it, man. I really do love this game. So yeah, I'll see you guys. Peace.